Virgos, yeah, you have the King of Cups, excuse me, the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and then you Virgos also have the Two of Cups. Very interesting for you Virgos, because this is really about how you Virgos essentially, what it is that you ask from others. They make up every excuse in the book to not give it to you. You know what I mean? In relationships, they give you every excuse in the book. Every single excuse as to why they don't want to do it. You know, even when it will benefit them to do it, they still don't want to do it. You know what I mean? And it's pure stupidity is what it is. It's just stupid beyond comprehension. All forms of comprehension, right? I ain't gonna say all forms, but a lot of forms of comprehension. It's just stupid because they so interested in like coming up with all these different excuses. Fine, they don't want to do things your way. They don't want to listen to what you Virgos have to say. But then you Virgos have been right about a lot of things. And specifically, you've been right about them. So with all of this jealousy that they have and envy that they have, they don't want to listen to what you have to say, which is them picking and choosing. Because the truth, because I'll tell you, the truth is the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter whom speaks the truth. When a person says something that is true, you have to give it up to them. If you decide to say, no, I'm not going to listen to what you Virgos have to say, and then you go and you listen to somebody else who literally just said what the Virgo said, that's stupid. That's bias. And the bias is essentially being revealed that the person is stupid. The person is lacking not just IQ, but there's something deeper than that the person is missing, because there is no higher religion than the truth. Once a person says something that is true, it doesn't matter about your bias. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter about the thing. It doesn't matter about this. It doesn't matter about your perception. It's just what it is. You have to accept it. Not accepting it means that you are lying to yourself by definition if you don't want to accept what's there, what it is. And so a lot of people, you Virgos, once again, you've been right about a lot of things, and a lot of people know that you've been right. And once again, this is what creates the distinction, because the Nine of Wands and the Four of Pentacles for you Virgos speaks about how they're now in a space where they would like for you Virgos to be around, but you just don't care about their plight and what they've got going on. Because again, us as Virgos, we can be caretakers to people. We can take care of them, right? Help them heal from their past. But when they don't want to keep themselves healthy, we essentially stop helping them, And right now, you Virgos have people who would like for you Virgos essentially to be around, but they look quite stupid doing it, because they want you to be around, but you Virgos don't really care to be around them anymore. And so the Four of Pentacles here represents how you Virgos have pretty much come to your own conclusions that enough is enough, and that you Virgos pretty much have done everything that you possibly could for an individual or individuals, right, in a not so distant past. And you Virgos are like, okay, well, that's it. You're done. You're not going to mess with them anymore because you done did everything that you possibly could, right? If you're being real, you did everything that you possibly could. And so the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles here represents how, and since that's the case, a lot of you Virgos understand it for what it is. And so what's happening here is the fact that you Virgos don't care anymore to help those people, because you realize that specifically those people whom you tried to help and they wouldn't listen to you, they're adversarial to you for no real reason. They can't really justify why they're adversarial. They still end up having to do the same thing that you told them to do. They heard it from another person that told them to do the same thing or whatever. This type of stupidity and like this type of perceptive, this blind spot that a lot of people have, this is why you can't take certain people seriously. This is why it is that you can't take like and unlike and what people like and what they say that they like and who they say that they like seriously. You really can't. Show and prove that you can't right now. Easy work. A lot of people are dealing with, and I hope YouTube doesn't hit me for this, lifestyle creep. And what I mean when I say lifestyle creep, I mean from the perspective of this delusional ideology, this delusional idea of when you get things accustomed a certain way, you can't go back. What do you mean you can't go back? You adjust to what the circumstances are. As long as you don't sell your soul, you adjust to what the circumstances are. This ideology of, oh, well, I'm making a certain amount of money, so I can't go backwards. That is a stupidity. Because what do you mean you can't go backwards? What do you mean you can't downsize? What do you mean you can't? You've become accustomed to riding first class so much to the point where when the plane that you want to get on, you're going to be sitting in coach. You refuse to sit in coach because why? Because of lifestyle creep. You feel you too good to sit in coach now, even though you started out in coach. You can't a person can't go back and go, well, it is weird, I don't really find anything, whatever. It is what it is, right? I don't really find or think of a way about it one way or the other. As long as I'm safely getting to my destination, I don't care. Right? As long as I'm not sitting next to the bathroom, I don't care. They can do that now all of a sudden. And so what does this have to do with you Virgos? What I'm trying to say here is the very same thing that you Virgos would tell people to do that they don't want to listen, other people tell them to do the same thing, and they will listen to that. And the thing about it is that they understand that if they listen to them, it's a form of jealousy and envy that they have. Because the bias is jealousy and envy is what it is. Because once again, like I told you Virgos from the very beginning, whatever kind of chip that people have on their shoulder towards you, once the truth is being said, it doesn't matter who the truth is being spoken from. Truth is truth. They have to accept it or they are lying to themselves by definition. And so what's happening with that is that you have a lot of people who need your help because the facts are you're in a better position than them comparatively, but they delude themselves because it's the ideology of you're not qualified to tell them what to do. They don't want to hear anything from you, even though you're better off than they are. Facts. So what it is that where the bias is coming from is the jealousy and the envy that they have of you Virgos. No matter how much it is that they'll try to make it seem like it's not, they do have a very strong jealousy and envy that they have towards you. Because the Six of Pentacles now, right, the Four of Cups and the Two of Pentacles represents now some people are starting to come around to begin to comprehend or perceive that you Virgos are not as wrong as they try to make it seem like you were, right? They didn't want to listen to anything that you had to say. You were the worst person in the world, the way that they were trying to make it out. And now you Virgos have proven yourselves to be very valuable. Now all of a sudden they don't like the fact that you end up having to essentially be the king or the queen of the crossroads. And what I mean by that is it's a magical term, meaning that they can't go anywhere without kind of seeing you, because you've given them so much game there within your short time of you Virgos being around them, and they didn't want to listen to it, that now when they hear this stuff, now they're like, oh, Virgos told me, oh, and all the resistance that they were giving to you, now all of a sudden they have to deal with it. They're hearing the very same thing from another person. Had that many times. And so the King of Wands now and the Scorpio energy right here for you Virgos represents how, so they have to listen to it because they're hearing it from other people say the same thing that you said that they didn't want to listen to you for. Let's clarify the Scorpio energy, right? They were overly confident when it came to you. Two of Wands, Four of Swords, Page of Cups, the Star card, Two of Swords. And so now the Two of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Page of Cups represents how you Virgos basically, like I said before, it's their own delusion. Because the Scorpio energy is about what you're leaving behind. Their own delusion is what you Scorpios, and delusions that you had about yourself. You Virgos are not pack animals. And what I mean by that is you're not pack wolves. You're lone wolves. And this is something that I had to learn to accept about myself as of recently. Once again, I already knew that I was a Sigma. But just how deep that rabbit hole goes, I'm really beginning to understand more and more and more just how deep the rabbit hole goes. A lot of the negativity that I receive is really online. I don't really get a lot of negativity when I turn the computers off and when I turn my phone off and I'm not really connected to social media like that. But then you have a whole bunch of people whom I may meet on the internet, whether it was TikTok, whether it was Instagram, and all I'm trying to do is basically put certain people on game. Like, look, if you do this, it really will kind of help your life out. And they so much want to bicker and argue against me. Okay, fine. Do what you have to do. Okay. You know, you're the strong one and I'm the weak one. Okay. Right? And they work hard to beef with me. They work hard to beef with you Virgos. And so now that you Virgos are understanding that, you know, this is what you have to leave behind. You Virgos got to leave behind the crowd. The individuals where they have this kind of bias. They don't want to listen to you. You know, it's not that they're studying what you said, right? To even check to see if it's the truth. They're just completely dismissing what you Virgos had to say in the past. And then boom, the very same individuals or whatnot that they wanted to listen to told them the same thing that you said. And you Virgos find out that people are doing this. How backwards and crossed people can be. You Virgos are beginning to understand and embrace, again, the adversary, right? The ideology of, like, you're not the ideology, you're beginning to embrace the idea of forgetting about all of these crowds and all of this stuff and these groups and hanging out and all this other kind of goofy stuff, because people have their little hang-ups and they little chip on their shoulder when it comes to me and all this. And I'm telling you, a lot of this, like, little petty, the little petty little stuff that people have, stupid. What they have beef for with me is stupid. They can't say what it is. You done did something to me. Okay, verbalize it. Otherwise, I'm not going to take you seriously. They can't. And then when I go, okay, well, then when you Virgos go, okay, fine. Bye. Nah, no, wait, no. Because this is stupid and it's weird. And this is how beef happens. This is how people beef with each other for generations. This is how people end up getting lost on both sides, if you know what I mean. This is stupid. If you just trying to for the effect, that's lame. That's goof troop. That's goofball stuff. People who students of the game and know how to move, they don't move like that. That's stupid. And you can get dealt with. And so the situation with that is you Virgos are beginning to embrace being by yourselves, because a lot of people, like I said, this is where the chip, the chip on their shoulder that they have, because you Virgos are able to understand now that, again, a lot of people have their chip on their shoulder about you. They have to come up with excuses why they can't rock with you. And so the star card and the two of swords represents us as Virgos. We are accomplishing our dreams, just silver surfing through this thing, right? Doing our own thing from now on. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're at 28,200 and change. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. And watch time is very important. Please watch this video as long as you possibly can. Appreciate you. Oh yeah, and if you want to get a personal reading from me, the link to that is in the comment section below. Call the Linktree link.